New Year, everyone. We're excited to have you on today. This is Jeremy McLerran, Director of Marketing for Qolsys, and you are at the first webinar of the new year. So we're very excited to have you on here. Looks like everyone's getting into the room right now. We still have lots of people plugging in like usual. We're going to get our, it's going to be a short but a fun webinar today, hopefully. Before we get started on things, I want to make sure that we get all of our technological stuff in line. Hopefully you're logged in on the computer. That's how we know that you're on. That's how we can draw your name from the list of attendees in order to get you, the possible prizes that we're offering up today. And it also makes it so you can see the things that we're showing on the screen. So if you have not already logged in on the computer, please do so with the link that you got in the email today. If you're not able to log in on the computer, it's not a big deal. We understand that happens sometimes. Maybe you're on the road, you're traveling somewhere, maybe your computer internet's down and you're just joining in from your phone, which is totally fine. We're glad you're here, glad you're able to participate. We will, of course, be recording today's webinar. In fact, Whitney, why don't you go ahead and start recording now. We're recording today's webinar, and we plan on sharing that on our YouTube page with all the other webinars that we've got, along with all the other videos that we have as well on our YouTube page. So you can watch for that later on today if you'd like to review the information we talk about and possibly share it with other people as well. The great thing about being logged into the webinar is even though you're on mute, you will be able to actually type in your questions to us. We, of course, want your participation. We want you to be able to talk to us, interact with us, things like that. If you go to your GoToWebinar control panel that you use to log in today on the computer, there should be a section called Questions or Chat. It could be called Chat. Look for that section right now, if you don't mind, and I'd like you to go and type a question to me, or maybe tell me Happy New Year, or let me know what's going on with you guys and your company, whatever it is. I just want to make sure that thing works okay. So I can see people popping in there. Jake, welcome. John, Frank, Kyle, Tracy, Andrew. I see a lot of familiar names, so it looks like there's a lot of people here that we're familiar with. I wonder how many people we have that are brand new. In fact, why don't we do a poll real quick? I'm going to launch this poll. I want to know, is this your first Qolsys webinar? Not only the first of the new year, but the first ever. If you've ever been to one of our webinars before, then please indicate that this is either your second one or that you come to, I say as many as you can. Obviously, if you can't come to one, we totally understand. That's why we record them. But wow, we got a pretty good percentage of new people. That's great. Welcome, all you that are coming for the first time, and hopefully the information we'll talk about today will be useful to you. So I'm just getting all my stuff set up here. I want to get my screen playing and make sure that I can see the questions as they come up. And let's see. I'll open up my question bar so I can see all of them. And I can't seem to get my GoToWebinar thing to pull up at the same time. I usually can, and I don't know why it's not pulling up. That's okay. I'm going to figure this out here shortly. So, I know why. It's because Whitney's logged in as the presenter, so I got to make myself the presenter. That's why. All right, so make myself the presenter. So Whitney, before we get started also, I want to introduce Whitney. You guys have probably met her before, but Whitney, say hello to everyone.
Hi, guys.
Whitney is our manager of training and education and marketing here at Qolsys. She's going to be helping me execute a lot of these marketing campaigns this year, and is also in charge of our email campaigns as we do them. So that's going to be a lot of what we're going to talk about today is those email campaigns. So we're glad to have you on, Whitney. We'll be asking you a few questions, and you'll be helping us through this process as we go. So I'm going to go ahead and press play, and I don't know if I'm sharing my screen yet. Let's make sure I am. Change presenter to me. Oh, why am I not showing my screen? Whitney, maybe you have to give me control. It's odd.
Okay, how do I give control?
We gotta figure it out. Sorry about this. Usually I log in first, and so it throws everything off when Whitney logs in first, and it established her as the presenter.
Okay.
So I'm gonna change myself.
Make presenter.
Show my screen. There we go. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see my screen now. Sorry about the little technical glitch there. It's the first of the new year. Give me a break. All right. Can everybody see that okay? Make sure you can. All right. Okay. And my questions are not up. Well, it's because I lost my mouse. Boy, we are experiencing all sorts of problems here in the new year. I blame it on Whitney. I literally have no mouse power. How am I supposed to show a webinar if I can't even show my mouse? You know what, Whitney? I'm going to have you address the questions then.
Yeah, I got it.
Because I can't see them for some reason. So hopefully, when good questions come up, you can address them.
Okay.
Well, first off, I want to talk about some of our marketing campaigns. The first one that we introduced back at ESX a little while ago was called 1980 Call that wants its security panel back. And for those of you that went to ESX, you saw the big banners on the escalators, you saw the signs on the floor. It was a lot of fun. And we gave away T-shirts, and the goal was to try and help people feel that the rubber button keypad perhaps isn't the most modern device. I think we all know how many of us here on the phone have smartphones versus an old flip phone. I would be very shocked if anybody on the call today had a flip phone. But I am curious to know if you guys, oh wait, you know what, I've got to close the poll. That's probably why you guys couldn't see my screen. So I am curious to know if you guys are still installing. I know from a dealer's standpoint, there are certainly some cases where there might be a reason to install what we would call a rubber keypad, right? One of those rubber button security systems of some sort. So I'm curious to know, do you have existing customers with those rubber button keypads? And if you'll answer that poll, so I've got the poll up on the screen now. Let me know, do you guys currently have customers that are using those or not? And I'm guessing the answer is going to be yes, and it looks like overwhelmingly. Yeah, we've got lots and lots. Yeah, so a good, probably 75% of you, or over 75% of you, over 80%, oh, that's closer to 90. 90% of you have customers already that have those older keypads. And that's not a problem. That's actually a really good thing. Because we know that from our experience, people want technology. They like technology. Not everyone does, but the majority of our customers like technology. And there's always that little moment of, and you've probably seen it on your own customers when you go and install a rubber button keypad up on their wall. There's kind of that moment of, oh, is that what I get? It's that moment of disappointment, that moment of, oh, well, how do I use that? And just from a intuitive standpoint, think about how to use a rubber button keypad compared to how to use, for example, a touchscreen. You can't name things what they are. You literally have to look at the numbers, and sometimes there's words associated with those numbers underneath them. Sometimes they rub off. And you have to remember that 1 does this, 2 does that. Sometimes there's additional buttons on them that allows you to do other things, but it can be a little bit confusing for some of your customers. So when we say 1980 called and wants its security panel back, we really do believe that people want touchscreen technology. You look at the trend in the market right now, out of Silicon Valley, across the whole nation, across the whole world really, we're putting screens on everything. So the thought of making sure that your customer has something that they really love using and is easy to use shouldn't be that foreign of a concept to you. Now, we think it's great because you can use this to your advantage, whether it's an existing customer that you originally installed a rubber button keypad with, or it's a customer that maybe they called you up and said, hey, can you activate my old system for me? and you've activated that system for them, whatever the case may be, if they've got a rubber button keypad on their wall, you have an opportunity to do what we call an upgrade. It's not that challenging of a thing, and you think about your phone experience, a lot of people immediately think, oh, how much is that going to cost? Well, think about your phone experience. Last time you went to go get a phone, did you get the free flip phone, or did you pay for an upgrade? Your customers are used to this experience. They've all gone through that experience, whether it's with Verizon or AT&T or up in Canada with Rogers or whoever it is. They're used to going to a place and saying, okay, I can take the free option or I can upgrade to something nicer. In this case, you can actively market to your customers, hey, there's something nicer available, would you like to get it? And maybe they'll get it, maybe they won't. Maybe it generates more sales for you, maybe it doesn't. I'll tell you one thing though, when you install a nicer touchscreen security panel, it will generate more referrals for you. There's not many customers who will brag to their friends, oh, come take a look at this rubber button keypad on my wall. Look, it's got all 10 numbers. There's a 0, there's a 9, there's an 8. Look at all those cool things. And you know what? If you look over here, it's got its own panic buttons. You could just press those and it's panic, and your friends are going, wow, that's so cool. You're the luckiest guy in the neighborhood. It just doesn't happen, right? But when a new touchscreen device comes out, everyone's showing it off. So for the sake of your referrals, for the sake of your own pride, I would say you gotta make sure that you are installing those. So I'm going to take you guys to a website real quick. This is from our this is kind of funny, the legendary fossils. You can see trilobite, dinosaur, and rubber number pad. I'm going to take you to our Facebook page. And on our Facebook page, have I been showing the right screen, Whitney? I haven't been showing the right screen, have I? And no one said anything to me.
No, it was right. We could see it.
It was? Okay.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. Okay. And if you look here, we've got on our Facebook page, so you have all these fun little things, and they're just for fun, Jeepers, you're still using rubber number pads? What year is it anyway? Proudly installing the same old rubber button keypad since 1980. And this is your house with a rubber number pad. Any questions? So, our marketing team kind of put these together, and there's some fun with it, and we're poking a little bit of fun with them. And again, a rubber number pad is not an awful thing. There are plenty of uses for it, and there's plenty of customers who are going to say, hey, I don't want to go with the touchscreen, I want to do it, but do it because it's a choice for them and your customer chooses it, not because of you. And I think there's a lot of customers out there that if they knew that there was an option for a touchscreen device, and it was affordable for them, and whether you decided to finance it for them or whatever, that there would be a very positive reaction to it. So play around with these on our website, on our Facebook page if you want. They're a lot of fun. I can't see these potentially being something that would be beneficial for you from a marketing standpoint, but we do have some things that will be beneficial to you, and I want to make sure that you guys use those. Before we move on from rubber button keypads, was there any questions, Whitney, that we should address?
I don't see any questions right now, but we've got a lot of comments. We've got
a lot of comments.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me find.
Okay. Like what?
Let's see. Jake Wing says our orders have shifted recently to be more Qolsys than XTI. Techs are happy. Mark Buckley says that the rubber button keypads get dirty, especially with smokers.
They do. But I don't know that. I think that's going to probably be the same case for anything but that is a valid point that they don't look nearly as nice because there's not a screen to clean off.
He says also that they do rubber buttons due to cost and sometimes basic partition control. Could you speak to that a little bit?
Partitions?
Yeah.
And that's a great example of when you would want to use a rubber number pad, is if they have a partition type system. Because currently the IQ panel does not have partitions. Now, I will tell you, we're working on it, and that's something we plan on offering in a future software update. But currently, you could only do one partition with the IQ panel, which means that if you've got, maybe it's a guest house or servants' quarters, or whatever it is that would need it, or a small business that needs partitions. Maybe it's a warehouse separate from the main, the main salon or whatever it is. Then partitions are useful on some of those other devices. The other situation might be in cases where you need a whole lot of security sensors. I know some of those rubber number keypads have a lot of security devices that could be connected, especially in a business type scenario. And the IQ panel is not registered or not UL listed for commercial use. So in a heavier commercial setting, you absolutely want to be using something that has the power of it, that can do some of those other applications. We're definitely a residential panel or a very light commercial panel from that standpoint. So those are really good points, guys.
Ryan
let's see.
says
Yeah.
the only time they install rubber keypads is for elderly. Sometimes touchscreens are overwhelming for the older generations.
Yeah, that's a really good point too. Yeah, there are cases out there where you'd want to use them, but that's definitely not the majority of the cases, right? There are definitely situations where you want to be able to use something that your customer would consider modern technology, like a touchscreen. So thank you very much for those comments, you guys. Let's go on to the next picture, which is retire the truck. Hopefully you guys have seen this. This was a campaign we started last year at ISC, and the concept here was that you don't need to worry about driving a truck. And you guys have heard me say this. For those who've been on other webinars of mine, of ours, you want to make sure that if you're driving a truck out to a customer's home, it's because you have to, not because, or excuse me, it's because you want to, not because you have to. There's a lot of scenarios where sending a truck or a technician out, which is very costly, is not necessary. Things like, minor adjustments. Almost everything. In fact, we've spent 4 years integrating with Alarm.com at the most minute levels possible to make sure that you guys have the most powerful remote access available. Literally, almost every single setting on the IQ panel can be accessed remotely. Even things like reconnecting Wi-Fi now can be done remotely. If the customer's Wi-Fi goes down and you want to send a software update, if you didn't have the latest software on it, then you would have to go drive a truck out to their house or walk them through how to do it on the phone. Even that now has been taken care of. So there's a lot of things that we've worked very hard to make sure that, and we're continuing to do it as we continue to make new features, to make sure that you have access. Customer calls you up and says, hey, the screen brightness is too high. You can adjust that online, on your phone, right now with them. From a customer standpoint, think of the advantage they have. Think about some of your competitors out there, and I'm sure you guys are all very fast at your service calls, but think about some competitor calls or some customer calls up and says, hey, I'd like to get an adjustment made to my system, or maybe I need a new device added, or hey, this isn't working the way I want to. Yeah, we can have a technician out there in 2 weeks. They don't want that done in 2 weeks. They want it done now. And in many cases, they're willing to do it themselves, even over the phone, if you can walk them through it, which can be challenging sometimes, especially based on the customer. But if you have access to everything, you don't have to do that. You can literally do it all for them. Go online. You can see in the bottom right corner of this screen, you can see the AirFX Remote Toolkit, and it actually shows you all the different things you can do. And there's a upload device settings. If you look here, over on the right side, the uploader downloader has a huge list of things you can do. So there really is a long, long list of settings you can change. You can add a new device. I talk to dealers all the time who said, we reduce our truck rolls because when a customer calls up to add a new device, we mail it to them and we add it remotely. And so in some cases, they'll add it before they even mail it out. And you can do all that, whether it's an image sensor, whether it's a security device, you can do all that remotely through the AirFX toolkit. So it's really, really nice to have that access. Let's check and see if there's any questions or comments about that. Wi-Fi speeds up Alarm.com service. You're absolutely right, and that's a really good point. On the IQ panel with that dual path connectivity, being able to have the signals go through both Wi-Fi and cellular makes everything, not just the customer sending signals back and forth from a panel, Z-Wave commands, arming and disarming commands, etc., but also your connection to the panel. If you want to go in and make a tweak to a setting, you don't have to wait for a long time for that setting to go into effect. It goes into effect really, really quickly. So, yeah, Mark brings up a good point. It might be a 5-minute phone call, but it could be 30 to 45 minutes to drive there, and that could be very, very expensive. I don't know if you've done the math on truck rolls in your organization. It's different for everywhere, but I know when I worked for a dealer, we were spending an average of $75 per truck roll. $75. That's a huge amount of money. If you could save even one of those truck rolls from your customers over the course of their lifetime, that's real savings back in your pocket. And if you've got customers who get truck rolls every year for one reason or another, that can put some significant savings into your bottom line. So Jake wants to know, where do you get the app? It's incredible. It's alarm.com. So if you log into your alarm.com dealer account, it'll be over on the side. Now you can also do a lot with the alarm.com mobile tech app. If you go into your phone to the Google Play Store or the App Store, depending on what type of device you have, do a search for alarm.com or even mobile tech. I've got it on my phone, and you'll use your dealer credentials to log in. From there, you can make adjustments to existing systems. You can also create new systems right from your phone. Now, the mobile tech app doesn't have as much functionality as the full site. You can do some things like changing service plans and making some minor adjustments. Most of the functionality, though, will occur when you log into alarm.com from a desktop or laptop computer. So make sure that if you're trying to do some of those bigger things like adjusting screen brightness or things like that, that you would do that through there. Brett asks if we'll ever have third-party integration with Control4. It's taken us a lot of years to get working smoothly with alarm.com and making sure that everything's working well and things like that. Control4 is kind of a different ecosystem, isn't it? We've talked about doing some integration. In fact, we've been having conversations with them. I think from a workaround perspective, I was talking to a dealer just the other day who has an IQ panel in his home, has alarm.com, and integrates with Control4 because he uses if this, then that. So you might want to look into that for maybe some of your more experienced customers that might want to use some of that service. But there's definitely plans to do some more integration with all sorts of things. Our goal, just so you guys are aware, our goal as a company is to integrate with everyone. We believe that it won't be one winner out there in the world that wins because their protocol, their ecosystem is the best. We believe that the winner is going to be everyone, and that the more accepting we can be of devices, of services, things like that, the better off we're going to be as an organization, and the better off you guys are going to be from a perspective of being able to talk to your customers and sell to your customers. So Fausto asks if there's ever going to be integration with Philips Hue or Zigbee devices. Down the road, I mean, again, you could use that that if this then that to do it right now. In fact, there was a guy down at the Volutone event that Jeremy Blakeney went to. He's one of our technical account managers, and he said that the guy there made it so that when you disarm the panel, or when you arm your panel, his lights turned. I think he said they turned blue, and they dimmed and they turned blue. So there was like a bluish light every time the panel was armed, and they flashed that way. And it was just kind of one of the things he programmed on there. But he used if this then that. And because alarm.com is so robust in terms of the notifications they send, the emails they create, he did it all based off of email. And he basically said, if I receive an email that says, the system is armed, then, and he told it, turn on my light bulbs, flash my light bulb blue at 20% or whatever it was. So you can do some of that integration right now. Now, it takes someone who's got a little bit of a sharper brain. It's not something that's quite consumer ready, at least not in my experience. It has to be someone that's a little more tech savvy, but it is possible. And if you wanted to go through and do some of that stuff now, you definitely could. Mark Buckley, you bring up a great point. Internet of Things. Internet of Things is going to be crazy. By the year, I think we've talked about this before, but by the year 2020, there's supposed to be 20 billion connected devices. We are on the precipice of a huge, huge revolution in the way we integrate with our homes, how we connect with our homes, what we do, and everywhere you go. I mean, I went to Lowe's the other day, and they have a whole section of home connected devices. I went to Best Buy to buy a router for our CES booth, and as I was there, I was looking around in the computer section, and I said, I can't find the routers. Where are they? And they said, oh, they're up in our connected home space. I'm like, what? And I look up, and there is a connected home space in Best Buy, a whole 2 or 3 rows of all sorts of things, Nest thermostats and cameras and routers and all sorts of things. This is going to be huge, huge business. If you are looking at the trends and you're looking at how things are going, you know that the ability to combine security with convenience, with life safety is awesome. And people are excited about it and they're buying it. So that's something you can absolutely be marketing off of. Jake says, my home's set up to turn on the lights in rooms when motion detects motion. When a motion detector detects motion in the room, it's very easy to set up. You're absolutely right, Jake. I do that on my own home. I've got motion sensors or image sensors in every room, and it's not because I'm worried about someone breaking into that room and I need to use the motion sensor to detect them, but it's because of the lights. I want to be able to walk in a room and have the motion detect me and turn on that light. And that IQ light bulb or a Z-Wave outlet or switch or things like that can all be paired together in alarm.com to create rules that allow you to do that. So it's really exciting. It's really exciting. Are there any plans to offer an official alarm.com channel through If This Then That? I don't know, Fred. That's a great question. If there are plans, I don't know about them. I know that If This Then That works right now. Whether or not alarm.com is doing integration with them, I don't know. But it is possible today to do that kind of stuff pretty easily. It's just a matter of setting up all your notifications the right way on alarm.com and then going into If This Then That and making those changes. So, great. Yep, and there's lots of control at the Z-Wave from the Z-Wave level at the panel, Mark. That's a good point too. Yep, there's a lot. You can even go in with the new software update 151. You can actually create automation rules on lights directly from the panel instead of even having to worry about logging into your alarm.com account. So, a lot of fun. A lot of fun. We're in a great industry, aren't we? Well, let's keep going. The next campaign I wanted to mention is Kill the Fob, which admittedly seems a little odd because we sell key fobs. We are a hardware manufacturer, and as a hardware manufacturer, we make our money by selling hardware. Why on earth would we, as a hardware manufacturer, tell people don't buy key fobs, instead go with the app? Well, I'll tell you why. Because key fobs are silly. I mean, yes, there are some people that use them. Yes, there are some benefits to them. In fact, I'd like to do another poll. Do you sell or give away key fobs? Yes, you do with every system. Yes, but by request only, or no, you don't offer them. Curious to know what your responses are. Because key fobs, in my opinion, potentially create a danger around the system and often get lost. When I was a security salesman in my younger years, I would go into people's homes and I would see the key fob, and you guys laugh because I know some of you guys have seen the same thing. You walk into the house and the key fob is sitting right there on top of the panel. So if I'm a burglar and I break into the house and I see the alarm going off, all I have to do is grab that little key fob and disarm the system. Or they're always in that front drawer. You'll ask a customer, hey, where do you keep your key fob? Oh, right here by the front drawer. It's in this drawer right here. Come on. So not only does the burglar get to disarm the system, and you never know about it because it just disarms, unless you set up a notification that says system was disarmed, but you'll also have a bunch of people who have these devices and can snake them. I don't know what the official term is, but it's similar to sitting out front of your house, and when someone presses that key fob button, stealing or copying the radio frequency that's used to disarm the system, and now that they've got it and they've cloned it, they can then reproduce that on their own with their own device. It is possible. It's not a secure device. However, what is a secure device? Your phone. Okay? And let's not even talk about security for a second here. Let's talk about actual functionality. What can you do on a key fob? Arm, disarm. Well, you can arm, stay, and away, so that's pretty awesome. You could do 3 different things. And on those 4-button key fobs, if you're really savvy, you could maybe program a light to turn on and off or a garage door to open or something like that. But come on, is that anywhere close to what you can do with the alarm.com app? I can do everything. I can view my cameras. I can view my image sensors. I can see the status of my sensors. I can arm and disarm. I can adjust my thermostat. There are so many things. Why on earth would you spend actual money on a key fob to give it to a customer when you can simply help them download and use the Alarm.com app instead? It's free. It comes with the system you're already setting up. There's no additional cost. Now, like rubber number pads, there are cases where a key fob would be useful. The elderly, I'm sure you guys are thinking right now, well, my older customers are going to want one. And the poll results, only 10% of you guys say yes with every system, which I'm really glad to see. 78% said yes by request only, which is awesome. So if a customer asks for one, yeah, you can give one. Why wouldn't you want to make that extra money? Especially when you give them that caution of, hey, be sure that you keep this in a safe place, right? You don't want to lose this, because if you lose it, someone can get into your house by disarming the system pretty easily. And a whopping 12% said you don't even offer key fobs, which is awesome, and I want to see that number grow. The Alarm.com app is so powerful, and if your customer doesn't have a smartphone, obviously a key fob is a good way to go. If your customer asks for one or really wants one, obviously a key fob is a good way to go. But for the most part, you should be pushing every single person you can to those key fobs. Let's look at questions and comments. Lower attrition when customers use their phone for their installs. That's great. I'm glad to hear that. Key fobs are good for elderly people. Yep, absolutely. Who can't use smartphones? Definitely. Yep, and I'm seeing a lot of people mentioning the panic button's nice to have for safety. That's a really good point, Arby. I'm glad you're making that. You know, the panic, that's one thing that the Alarm.com app doesn't do. It doesn't allow you to send an emergency panic. And having a key fob available that you could press and hold both the lock and unlock buttons of the panic, that's a good point. So it is nice to have, as long as those other things are taken in consideration, that it's put in a safe spot, right? Using the phone is faster. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, definitely. Ryan says he only sells key fobs for panics. That's great. That's absolutely great. Good job, you guys. I'm glad to hear that. In fact, you know, I want to ask Whitney. Let's ask Jeremy and Kevin in the other room. I think it's possible instead of got a little echo there. Sorry. Instead of put your phone on mute real quick, Whitney. I'm hearing an echo. Instead of pairing your key fob as a key fob, if you were to pair it as an emergency panic button, could you do that, or would it cause a problem with this system? Will you go ask Jeremy and Kevin that and let us know?
Sure.
Because that might be a great workaround, guys.
I'll give them a call real fast.
And it's possible some of you guys know as well. I know that there's sometimes, but that you might know it already. But yeah. All right. Well, let's. I also want to talk to you guys about our new marketing emails. They're already on the dealer portal right now. We're going to do a new one every single month, and we'll keep adding to them. The first email available right now is called "Just Say No to Rubber Button Keypads," and it looks exactly like this. It scrolls through like this. It has a picture of a "Just Say No to Rubber Button Keypads," and the whole gear is around upgrading your old system to a 7-inch touchscreen. So all of you guys that talked about having existing customers that have an old rubber button keypad, you could take this email, forward it to your customer, and say, give me a call if you're interested. It's already ready to go. It talks about how the IQ panel can do all sorts of great things. It shows some features on it, shows the Alarm.com app. It even has a link to the emulator at the very bottom if they want to try it out themselves. It'd be a great way to help encourage your customers to upgrade their systems. So it's already on the dealer portal. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and show it to you. If I go to the dealer portal, so let's see, dealers.qolsys.com, or you can go to qolsys.com and click login. And I type in my login. Don't anybody look at my login. Top secret. Okay, so I type in my login and I go to sales and marketing materials. Right here, if I go down to commercials, right below that, we've got a new section called pre-made emails. And here is the IQ panel, just say no email. If you download that, it'll open up as a zipped file. You'll unzip it, and you've got an email in there. And we'll continue to add more and more. Every month, we're going to add a new one. You can see some of our the ones we're going to add next. We've got, oh, just so you know, this is great for both current customers and people who have an existing system. So if you've got a list of people that might not be a current customer but have an existing system of some sort, then it's a great way to market to those people as well. So, but upcoming, we're going to do one about the phone is your fob, talking about the alarm.com app and how great it's going to be and how they should get remote access today. We'll do one called Stop Waiting for Technicians, a great one for reaching out to people that are with your competitors right now and say, stop waiting for technicians. I can, update your system and adjust your system settings, for you over the phone when you call right away. So really kind of, focusing on that retire the truck AirFX message, but doing it in an end user way for you. Upgrading your system today, we'll have a whole series of emails about, get a light bulb, or get a thermostat, or get a smoke detector, or things like that. Get a camera. There'll be all sorts of videos that, or not videos, but emails that we'll make for you that you can then send to your customers and encourage your existing customers to upgrade to more devices. Chances are your customers still have the devices that they use today and could use a few more extra devices. And the more devices they get, the more excited they're going to be, the more devices they're going to want to get. And that's extra revenue for you. That's extra, upfront revenue and monthly revenue for you, depending on how you structure it. So some great opportunities for you to market to your customers. We want to make it easy. If you've got ideas, if maybe you want to tweak these, obviously if we're going to send you the, you can download the email yourself and you can make whatever adjustments you want. But if you've got ideas of emails you'd like to see, send them to Whitney. She'll make sure that that they're added into our queue and that we build them for you. We want to make this easy for you. We want to make this fun for you. And we've got some awesome things coming up this year that are going to make that even better. And I unfortunately can't tease out too much more, but I do want you to come see us. We are going to be at CES. I'm going to be there. I'm leaving tomorrow morning for Vegas. Kevin Woodworth and I are going to be in booth 71557 in the Sands Convention Center. If you happen to be going to CES, please come meet me. I want to shake your hand. I want to see you. I want to talk to you. Come tell me you were on the webinar. I want to know who you are and put a face with the name. I see all your names here all the time, and oftentimes I never get to meet you in person, so I'd love to meet you. And of course, ISC 2016 Las Vegas, that's in April. We hope you'll make plans to attend that as well. There's going to be some really exciting things we're cooking up for that. So stay with us for that. Let me go through and make sure there's not any questions. Did you get a response back from Kevin, Whitney?
Yeah, they said you can pair it as a medical auxiliary pendant, but you'll lose the arm and disarm features of the key fob.
So there you go. So if you want, that's a great way to secure a key fob. If you just tell them this is an emergency button only. Now, would you want to give them a pendant instead? That's up to you. But a great way to take a key fob and turn it into an emergency device without having the problem of the security. So great one. Let's see if there's any questions left. How can you get a login for the dealer site? All you have to do is send an email to portalaccess@qolsys.com. Send us an email and we'll make sure that you get access. If you haven't already filled out our form on our website to become a dealer with us, we will need you to fill that one out first. And if you fill that out, if you haven't done that before, if you fill that out, we'll automatically get you portal access. But for those of you that have already filled that out, we already have your information in our database, you can just send an email to portalaccess@qolsys.com and we'll get you access for all the people you need. Will I fly you out to CES? I would love to. I wish I could. Thanks for asking, Mike. That would be a fun promotion, wouldn't it? Instead of giving away prizes on the webinar, we could fly someone out to California and have them come see our headquarters and meet with us. Maybe we should do that sometime this year. Let's see. Questions for later. Are there plans to integrate with Monotronics? Good question, Ryan. I can't talk about things that haven't happened yet. I don't like to do that because other people like to, and then things don't happen on the schedules they want. But I will tell you, we've been having conversations, and I'm not going to say much more than that. But yes, absolutely, there are plans. Let's see. We've got a giveaway today, don't we? Something, and it's good stuff. Today's good stuff. You're getting a video brochure. Have you guys seen those video brochures before? Let me know if you haven't seen one of those video brochures, and I'd be happy to pull up our camera and show you that. And then also one of our panel display boards, and then a pack of our die cut brochures. They're really thick, nice die cut brochures with the buttons all pushed out. Great for sales tools. Show the video, please. Sounds good. I'll do it. All right. So let me activate my camera. Make sure you guys can see me. Can everybody see me? Hey, I got my headphones in so you guys can hear me better, because otherwise my speakers don't work as well. So this is the Qolsys video brochure. Super thin. You can see it, you know, not very thick at all. On the back, it's got a picture of the panel as well as all the features on the panel itself, and it's a great little sales tool. When you open it up, there's some more pictures, but there's also a 7-inch screen. And this 7-inch screen, I'll make sure there's not a glare here. This 7-inch screen is used to play a video. Great sales tool. Plays the video all the way through. We'll continue to loop that video. If I press pause, well, it's a touch screen. Hold on. It's used to pressing on a table. I can go up here. There's a volume adjustment here. There's also a battery level here, and it just charges from a USB that's included with the video brochure. If I touch the screen, I can hit this back button, and I get this menu. And on the menu, I've got products, IQ panel, and Ask Jenny. And Jenny, poor girl's having a baby. She hasn't been able to do many videos yet lately because she's pregnant. But we've got some of our best Ask Jenny videos. You want to watch a video about the IQ2 or the light bulb or things like that. Those are all on there. So great for, you know, showing your customers about some of those videos. You can also touch IQ panel here. And when you go to IQ panel, you can see the panel. And if I touch one of these features, it actually shows a video about that feature. So if I press camera, shows a video about the camera app. Okay? And you can use that to show your customers what features are available on the panel. If I go back here, I can go to products, and you choose a category, maybe control panels or security, smart home, life safety, translators, extras. If I choose one of these, I'll choose security, for example. You can see here's all the devices, the IQ Mini, the motion, the image sensor. If I press Mini, I get a sheet that talks about, this is our sales slick, also available on the dealer portal in a PDF form. But there's a sales slick, talks about the Mini, shows a picture of it, shows that it's also available in an extended version, and a brown version, shows that it connects over security RF. Great training tool, great sales tool. So, and then we've got similar images for every single one. You just click back to categories, back to home screen, and voila, you're back there. And if you want to replay that intro video, just click replay intro. So great little sales tool. You close it up. It's got a magnet closure, so it automatically turns itself off when you do it. And it's got enough battery to last continuously for about 4 hours before needing recharging. So, and again, the recharging cable comes with it. So today's winner is going to get one of those, as well as one of our panel display boards. It's an acrylic board with some graphics on it, and you can attach a panel and some other devices to it to use it to show off. Maybe you want to use it for a home show or, you know, a trade show of some sort. Maybe inside your office to show customers that come into your office, things like that. And then also a pack of our die cut brochures. So I would say, I'm going to turn my camera off here. Let's go ahead and get our drawing done. And Whitney, we're choosing one winner today, right?
3.
Say that again.
We have 3 winners today.
3 winners today. Oh my gosh, Whitney, you were so generous.
It's a good day.
So generous. It is. So, Jake Wings, since you've been super outgoing today, you've done a great job asking comments. I want you to give me a number. Type in a number, any number between 1 and 250. All right, Jake says 151. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down on my list here to number 151, and it looks like Valerie Nichols. Valerie Nichols is our first winner. So Valerie, congratulations. Whitney, write that name down. Valerie, we'll get your, I think we've already got your address because you registered with us already, so we should have that. We'll send that prize pack out to you to the address you used when you registered. So Let's get another number. Hector says 44. Pick 44. Okay, let's look for 44. 44 is John Clifford. John Clifford, congratulations. You won. So you're going to get a video brochure, a pack of die cuts, and one of our panel display boards. So congratulations. And we need one more number. Jeff says 75. All right, Jeff. This is our last winner. I need a drum roll, please. 75. Down, scrolling down. Rusty Rumley. Rusty Rumley, you won. Rusty, you win the third pack. So congratulations. Awesome, awesome. Now, those of you that think that these are pretty cool sales tools, they are. I don't want you to feel like you're left out. I wish we could afford to give everyone away one of these, but unfortunately they're quite expensive. But if you do want to buy one of these, they're on our dealer portal. You can go to log into the dealer portal. I think I can show you right here. I'm going to show my screen again. Okay, and can you guys all see that? So if I go to marketing store, so I've got documentation, sales and marketing materials, training, support, and marketing store. If I click on marketing store, you can actually see there is order products over here on the side, and you'd want to make sure that your information is correct, all your address and things like that. But if I click order products, you have your choice of either the video brochure, the panel display board, or the IQ panel die cut, and you can choose any of those and purchase those. And it's just a simple PayPal checkout process. So you just need a credit card and you'll be able to check out and get those, and then we'll get those sent out to you. So let me make sure there's no other questions that we want to address. How about a special discount? I wish I could. Unfortunately, the technology built into this site doesn't allow me to offer a discount of some sort. But it's a good question. Whitney, add that to your list of things to do. Let's figure out if there's a way to do a discount, because we should totally come up with a discount or a promo code that would allow us to give people something like that, because these guys deserve something like that, especially with all the participation we've gotten today.
You got it.
Well, guys, we can't thank you enough for all the time, for all the things that you, all the comments you've made, things like that. I got people asking for the recordings, for the keynotes. We are going to make the recording available on our YouTube page. So as soon as I pressed end webinar here, we're going to start processing that recording, and then Whitney will get it uploaded to the YouTube page here shortly. So watch for a thank you or follow-up email tomorrow, and there'll be a link in there to that to our webinar playlist on our YouTube page. If you don't want to wait for that and you want it today, you should be able to get that later on today. It only takes us an hour or so to get it processed and then uploaded. So you can watch for that video on our YouTube page. And again, it's just youtube.com/Qolsys. So, well, I hope you come see us at CES and make your plans for ISC. We are super excited for this coming year. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we look forward to working with all of you and meeting all of you. And hopefully we'll get to meet you in person at our next event. Thanks very much, everyone, and we'll talk to you soon.